What's going on, everybody? Red Monkey Trucking here. Everybody's here tonight. We got some special guests. We got Sergey. How you doing tonight?
Hey, what's happening? How you doing?
All right, I get the audio going. We'll give it a chance for some people to come in here before we really start talking here about some stuff. We're just going to be laid back. That's it. So right now it says we got one. I don't know if that's her being on that or not. So yeah, what's going on, everybody? We're here tonight. We're just going to hang out Sunday night, talk a little bit about GP. We're kind of doing this as maybe a good little practice run of the coming in here, bringing some maybe some people from our company in and getting a discussion going. People from outside the company, anybody's welcome. If you want to come in and have an honest, serious discussion about something or something like that, that's fine. We ain't definitely going to have no playing around. We're in here to have fun and smile and stay positive. So we got my buddy Tony coming in here in a minute too, drummer to driver. I think he's actually wanting the link. So how you been doing, Sergey?
Well, pretty good. Here I'm in the Chicagoland area in a suburb. It's been like a foot of snow today, pretty much.
Y'all were getting a serious amount of snow.
Yeah. It's like a foot of snow, and it's my wife and I just moved to a new place, so we're just kind of getting used to the shoveling and all that different stuff. So pretty much dealing with chores all day.
Right. Yeah, I seen on the we just missed it running that loads this last 2 weeks that we were doing a dedicated route through there. And we had a couple little snowstorms come through that didn't amount to much, but fortunately we just got out as it was coming in the other day when we came home, because it was about to dump some. I heard like where we were at about to get like 18 inches and stuff like that. Yeah, you can keep all that stuff. I don't like the snow at all.
I'm from Russia originally. Like I've been here forever, but like people are always like, "Oh, you're from Russia. You're used to this." And I'm like, where I'm from in Russia, it snows less than in Chicago. It's less cold than Chicago. So no, I'm totally not used to this. No matter how long I'm here, I can't do it. I can't do it. How long you guys been out until you've been home?
Let's see. We just came home. What day was it? Saturday? Yeah, Saturday.
Yeah. Okay. And you've been out for like a month, right?
Oh, you mean driving? Yeah. I mean, we had a break, pretty much. I mean, we had a day. We swung by here a day, and we didn't get. We were in the truck. So it's pretty much. Yeah, we've been in the truck itself for a while. So this time we got out and got some rest, and and not been in the truck itself, and got out and got some space and stretched. All those good things. You definitely got to do that after being out on the road, like. And sometimes you get stressed out. I think the whole environment right now with what's been going on the last year, everybody's on edge. So a little bit. It's been tough on everybody. I see a lot of things going on where people, I think they really need to try to be more positive and understanding of each other, and I think that could help in the trucking industry a lot. People be more open to understanding, and like I hear a lot of I'm not saying this is like a cliche thing or stereotyping them, but there's a lot of older guys I've seen that always the first thing they snap about somebody they see that's having trouble is calling them a steering wheel holder or things like that, and snapping their head off. And when it should be a situation where they say that, okay, to better the industry is let my older wisdom teach this youngin' a lesson and teach him something where he doesn't go and repeat that same mistake. That I believe if everybody had more of that mentality, there's a lot of things that could change in the trucking industry. It needs to be tight. It needs to be a really mesh environment, man. It's a brotherhood out here. We got to look out for each other. We really do. Yeah,
I agree. I mean, I've seen. And you see it everywhere. I mean, you don't see it just in trucking, but like I'm responsible for marketing, right, in my company. So I'm on social media all the time, and I see a lot of people, presenting their, kind of opinions as facts left and right, and sort of discouraging people from coming into the industry and sort of scaring off a whole bunch of people from getting into trucking. And it's like super unfortunate, because if you look at the numbers, a huge percentage of veteran truck drivers, veteran meaning veteran as in they've been trucking for 30 years, are about to get out of the industry within 3 to 4 years. So these folks are going to have to be replaced, right? And if we're just scaring off a whole bunch of the younger generation of drivers, that's not going to do good for anybody. So yeah, I agree.
Yeah. I mean, it really needs to. I think that's how it is. When I was in the military, it's kind of like a rank structure. So you got the people that have been in for years. Once you get into a unit or something, they're your guidance. They're your managers. They tell you how to and teach you how to do everything. I'm not saying it's their responsibility by any means of one guy to help another guy. But I think the more we share that kind of mentality with each other and do those things like that, I think it's going to be a safer environment. I think everybody's going to have a little bit more patience with each other. Yeah, and that creates more of a safer environment in that sense, and out on the road and everything like that. And I think it would just help. I think it's the idea I've always seen, because I've been out here a little over 3 years, and I've seen a lot, because especially being on social media and stuff, I've seen a lot of like that older generation type of hate, not really necessarily hate, but just talking kind of crap to each other, and when it could be a situation where they could help out instead. And it would really change an attitude. It would help. Their attitude would be better, and the younger guy's attitude would be better, and he would be more apt to wanting to learn more things and become a better driver.
Yeah. And I should mention, just kind of for the record, so whatever I say, it's kind of it's my take, not necessarily the take of my company, GP Transco. This is just kind of me on the interview. But if I wanted to ask you, so I mean, you're right, and you see a lot of some of the older drivers, poking fun of the younger drivers, calling them. Oh, are you there? Hello.
Had power on it is what it was. Did your browser lost connection with the camera? Hey,
you there?
We're going to get it back. We're going to get it back.
I don't know. Outage?
Yeah, well, I think my computer, I had it plugged in this little thing they have in the hotel.
I think your camera is actually.
Yeah, I got to fix it real quick. I got it.
Sure.
It takes a second here.
Yep.
Oh, there it went. Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. What I was saying is, like, what do you think are some of, like, what's the reason you think for some of the older drivers of like poking fun of the younger drivers, calling them steering wheel holders and whatever else, and what's behind that, you think?
I'm not really sure about that. I mean, it's just one of them things with like I don't know, the generation. I mean, like, that's just their type of generation. Like, hey, let's talk some smack. And because there's been, especially like you hear the whole thing towards Swift company, everyone's like, okay, first of all, they got the hugest company in the whole country, right? So you have more likelihood of seeing more people that make mistakes. So that raises, they see them, you're going to see them more, because just by numbers, you know what I mean? So, and people get upset with incidents and people getting killed, and those people get that reputation. And I think when we stop doing that and look past all that stuff and look towards trying to better the industry is when that will change. And I think, I'm not sure why.
I need to tell you something.
What?
And we right now.
Right.
Do you know?
I don't really. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Drummer to driver, link not working through Messenger. I'm trying to get Tony in here real quick.
Yeah. Hey, Tony, what's up, man?
I'm trying to get him in here. He's in the chat right now. I'm trying to get him in here. He just said the link wasn't working. Give me just a second. Hey, Wild Beard Trucking, what's up, dude? That's a good guy out there. Yeah, he's a good dude. Let me try to send that to you again, buddy. Just give me 1 minute here. I got to pull this link up. I'll just copy the link and actually just type it out to you, buddy. So give me a second. HTTPS. Hey Laura,
Uh-huh.
do you want to come in here too? So on your phone, you'll have to give me a second. Is there?
Well,
What were you talking about exactly?
You're not drawing all your normal fans.
Huh? Well, that doesn't matter to me. I know why. It's all right.
Really?
I hope everybody's doing good tonight and everything, man. You know, hanging out, having a good time and all that stuff. Let's see,
I think this is my first appearance on a live YouTube show ever, actually.
Yeah, I believe it is. Hey, Tony, try to come in on that one and see if that helps out. I sent it to you by text there. It popped up right. It should let you come in. Where is this guy trucks? And I don't know. This guy trucks don't really talk that much. I've seen his channel some. We've actually conversated like 4 or 5 months ago. He seemed like a pretty good guy when I talked to him. You know, one thing I do want to say, personally, I'm here to talk about my business and trucking and my company. You know, I don't find a place in my stuff where it doesn't relate to the company what somebody's personal thing they're doing on YouTube, especially if they're not in to actually directly promote the company or anything like that. I'll promote the company any day because this company's been one of the best company I've ever worked at. And I'm not afraid to say that. I can say it with confidence. And it doesn't matter if anybody else likes that or not, because that's all about what I feel and what I like in my life. You understand? So my career is going great, and I work with a good company that takes care of me and looks out for me. And that's all a man could hope for. And I get paid good. So what's up, Tony? Welcome to the show.
What's up, Tony? What's going on?
How you doing?
What's happening?
Oh, I forgot about this girl in here that wants to come in too. Hang on a second.
I'm not here. I'm in Cleveland.
I'll send it to your phone. You have to click it on your phone.
Wow, dude, bring everybody.
What's up? There you go. Got some volume, dude.
Yeah.
Is it hot?
Trucking along with Kiersey's in here. James, Gerald's in here. We got Craig Davenport. I don't know who that is. Mayhem Trucker. A lot of people in here. I'd like to say hi to everybody. Everybody say hey, what's up?
Tell them thanks for coming over from Elite.
Yeah. Smooth operator. Cash is king. I know Cash is king. It's smooth operator. What's up? Smooth operator. He's a good dude. What's that?
My eyes make this shirt look blue.
Yeah. So, how you been?
Who, me?
What you bringing to the table tonight, buddy?
A gimp foot.
Did you hear about his foot, Sergey?
I did not. What is that?
Go ahead. You can do it.
The other night, I caught the curb with half my foot like that. Well, when I went down, I caught myself with my other foot, and I could have swore, well, I did tear my Achilles, but not as bad as I originally thought. But yeah.
Are you okay? You are on our health insurance, right?
Oh, yeah. Went to the doctor to make sure it wasn't catastrophic, but yeah.
Okay, good. Glad to hear you're okay.
It hurts, but it's, it is what it is.
Yeah, Tony and I just saw each other at the GP headquarters. What, Friday, maybe Thursday?
Yes.
Yeah, must have been. It's really kind of cool to see people that I'm seeing on YouTube a lot, kind of just walking through the GP Transco headquarters periodically. It's pretty awesome, I gotta say.
I gotta get something. 1 second.
Yeah.
Guys.
Yeah, I tell you what, I really haven't had a chance to discuss that before, but yeah, the new headquarters, man, I noticed they got some things built on in the back, like more space and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of trucks sitting back there, like newer trucks coming in, or I think those might be some of the ones they're getting ready to swap out. When you do
the headquarters was built with room for growth in mind, so we have room to add on more space if we need to. If you're seeing new trucks, that's probably the brand new 2022 Freightliner Cascadia. Those are pretty awesome. We actually just put out a 3D Matterport like walk around of the 2022. So if anybody wants to go on our website, you can check it out there. You can see the all digital cockpit, which is like this new feature in all the 2022 Cascadias. It's got like Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. It's crazy. So, but yeah, we build a headquarters for growth, and then we're going to end up adding more parking space and stuff like that. But we're just learning how to kind of, manage a building of that size. It's very different than anything we've been in before. So it's been fun.
Yeah, this guy Trucks is in here. How you
Oh,
doing?
hey,
Hey, how you
what's up,
doing?
Josh?
Yeah, Josh is in here. Yeah, we got, let's see, Wildbeard Trucking, Driving with John. How you doing? How you doing, Driving with John? Welcome to the little feed we're having tonight. We're in here. We're just in here to have a little fun, hang out.
Yeah.
It's nothing like I sent that message to your phone. I got to just click on it. Yeah, we're just in here to talk, hang out.
Yeah, and Wildbeard is having him and his wife are having a baby at some point in the next, I think, 8 months. So congratulations.
Right on, man.
Yeah.
I've been me and Wildbeard Trucking kind of been I started my YouTube. He was kind of new in YouTube, and I've been following him for quite a while. Watching his videos. He always makes some really good videos.
Yeah.
Working along with Kiersey's made some really funny videos, man. The one where she made one that was like a news broadcast to make like a comedy thing about some of us crazy YouTubers.
Yeah.
It was pretty funny. Yeah.
I can't believe Wildbeard's while he's having a baby. He's in our chat. Crazy.
Oh, multitasking, man. That's what it's about. Multitasking is what you got to do.
Broadcast that by any chance?
Hey, I said in 8 months, okay?
Well, yeah, right.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Wildbeard. That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
That is really awesome. Stay safe out there and make sure you come home to that family every time you set out to go home, man. Come home safe, buddy. You got a reason to be safe for sure. And I seen somebody up here that was speaking a minute ago about they got 20 years in over the road and still learning something new every time. And I help out older truck drivers too, and young truck drivers, which he makes a really good point. It doesn't necessarily mean that when I was talking about it, it's always like old people to young people. But I was just saying, I was kind of generalizing that because, a lot of the older heads, like people have been in, well over 20 years at least, they're stuck in their ways. You know what I mean? I can understand. But as a whole, like if we all just try to help each other out better, because some people do and some people don't.
Send it again.
Okay.
Yeah.
What does it say? Say you have to. No. Oh wow. Okay. Try again. Okay. Close it out, and then I'm trying to help her get this little stream up on hers real quick. Just 1 second.
It's funny because you guys are literally in the same room, right? So you guys can technically sit next to each other.
Like that way she's got a little place where she can sit and she can join into, and it would be more, it's kind of like the whole you have to maybe close that right there, but let's try this. I'm trying to help her do this.
He's relegating me to the bathroom, and I can't.
You have to type in all what it asks for and stuff. I told her to go to the bathroom. No, the mirror in there, it's got those lights. See, I got my ring light. It makes, I like good lighting and stuff. I just got this and trying it out. Tony, he was talking about, he found one that it actually clips on your phone. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I have an IKEA lamp here, so I'm adjusting it.
There you go. I got a little lamp outside. That I could move up a little bit. I like more of the direct soft light a little bit. You can actually change the tone on this. I got this at Walmart for like $20. It's got a place you can post your phone and everything. Now that I've got everybody, like as far as that's, hold on. She's coming in.
Hello.
Hey.
Check your audio, Laura.
Check.
Yes, that's plenty clear.
He made me stay in the bathroom for this.
She's lying. She's been and like she's
literally a bathroom.
She's not lying.
I am going to get it in the chat for that. I guarantee you somebody's going to talk some smack to me on that one. I really like the setup here. I think actually now it allows more people to come in, so we could even bring more people in here.
Yeah.
So it's a pretty good little setup. I've always liked StreamYard because it's very user friendly. I can also go in. I can put tickers on the bottom. I can create a banner. Like I can do this right here.
Ooh, nice. Good one. I like it.
Okay. So we could always do something like that. We can always also go click on when a message comes up, and we can display the message. Like See like stuff like that, you know. I'm actually going to work on getting some moderators if it's going to be, you know, little babies like that. I'm not going to handle that stuff. I don't like it. I'll just block people. They can say what they want because that ain't about my life, man. You know, I really, you know, like what I was talking about a minute ago, relating like personal stuff to a company just is about as asinine as like, because that doesn't represent, like, that's outside of what your business is. I mean, you know, especially when, you know, it's, you have to do, I don't know, you have to do the right thing, man.
There's one now.
What's that? What'd you say?
There's one down. I just kicked on out of there.
Is his audio cut out when he tries to talk for you guys too?
A little bit, just a little bit.
Like, do you not have you should use your like wireless headphones with it, man. It would work a lot better that way. Do you not have wireless headphones?
Yeah, I gotta say, it's amazing. Like whenever I do stuff like this or see stuff like this, the fact we can do this so easily with technology today, it's awesome. Like it's amazing. Like we need to always, I think, appreciate how amazing it is, how easy it is for all of us to get together and stream something for however many people to see. Like it's crazy. I'm still learning all these different things. You know, I'm 31, but like still a lot of these things are new to me all the time. Like I'm just learning all this different stuff. It's really, really cool. Yeah.
And yeah, it's amazing because it really does give us a platform to do anything. We all have the opportunity to promote ourselves and give ourselves a chance to make it in this world in a public figure or type of way or anything like that, or an entertainer, like guitar player, or whatever it may be. You know, my son, he just started playing, and I'm telling you, it is amazing how fast he is learning. And I'm all about using, like, you know, on TikTok, I got, you know, I blew up on there, like with getting a lot of subscribers or followers. I want to use that to help my son out and, like, you know, try to get his name out there and help him get like some friends with musicians and things like that. And I think that would be great. I just look, the power that can happen there, like you have in your hands, is quite amazing. It really is. So,
yeah, it's a cool equalizer socially. It means like everybody can.
How about that?
You know? Yeah.
Yeah, everybody said the audio is good. Like for me, hearing it back,
is that a little better?
Yeah, that's better. That's
actually
better.
a lot better. Yeah. So yeah, we got a.
I think my iPad was on a tablet mount that we had.
Yeah, you know, it's I can hear myself if I'm a little bit too loud come through her speaker.
I can hear you too, twice.
Yeah, so
close the bathroom door, you guys.
It is closed, actually.
It is closed.
I'm just loud. I just, you know, my voice travels when I really speak up, so I could probably.
This is not fair, you guys.
Hey, just.
Yeah, I'm good. Sit on the floor.
Okay. All right. You got it. It was better when you're sitting it still, because if it's moving around, it'll make everybody feel like they're moving and stuff. You really got to sit it still on something. No. That's, you know, I'll never do that. I'll never be quiet. You know that. So, Tony, how you been doing tonight, man? So, how'd your evening go? Where you're unloading at and stuff?
Oh, I'm unloaded. I'm and then they said, hey, yeah, you can go park around there by the trailers. Only there's nowhere to park by the trailers, so you know.
Okay. I didn't take them. Where you? I mean, wait. How long did it take you to get unloaded and stuff?
What?
Can you not hear me very well?
I got here at 4. They just got me unloaded about. It's cutting out. Maybe it's my. Hang on.
Like,
might be a reception thing over the road. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it seemed to be jumpy a little bit too. It might be your reception. Like, I don't know where you're at, or
I don't know if that's on my end or your end or what.
It's on your end. I can hear it like coming through. I'm pretty sure it's cutting out. Like, do you if you just try to maybe just speak up a little bit, you know, try to. I have to like do this right here real quick. So yeah.
All right.
Actually, we got like 20 people in here, which, you know, that's pretty good. Bringing some people in. We got ex-lady driver trucker 21, Gary B, B's Knees Trucking Show, Willie's Big. See, like stuff like that. It's just people like are crazy, dude.
Yeah, you're gonna have to teach me. You're gonna have to teach me sometime when you're at the headquarters next time, because I'm planning on doing some interviews on behalf of GP Transco. Like, I'm planning on interviewing the founder and president of CDL Life.
I will totally help you set that up and everything, and we could definitely get something going with that, and I could definitely show you how to. We can get some moderation and all that stuff, so you don't have to worry about the little, all that interference and stuff. We're trying to be strictly professional when we talk about our company, because that's what we all preach here, and it's. I think everybody, especially here, these 4 people here that I know, have always tried to use that with one another. And even when you have a situation, guys, I'm tell you something, and I want to share this. I really did want to share this. I've heard some stuff recently, people, and that's related because somebody's got some drama with somebody. That really does not reflect on the company at all. What reflects on the company is things like this. Last week, I had a pretty rough day here at GP, and it wasn't their fault or anything they had to do with anything, but I had a really, really bad day. And there was an issue I had with something with my fleet manager, and I got upset to the point that I actually broke the code of having, being professional about something because the words I used. So immediately, knowing that I was upset, people were trying to connect with me to make sure that I was okay and that we could work it out and settle the situation and fix something. And, Sergey over here actually realized how upset I was and that I had not had much of a break for quite a while outside of the truck. Offered me, he's like, hey, man, if you want to come into headquarters, we'll put you up in a hotel for 3 or 4 days if you need to get some space, man, and just relax. I thought about that, man. I'm like, the company I was at before, that would be like a big time dream to dream over there or something like that. I mean, maybe in the crack motel down the street, but no, that just blew my mind, man. It was like, even though I had, I lost my crap a little bit, but I corrected myself, and I think everybody recognized that, and we settled the situation real quick, and it was taken care of. And the thing is, they want to see their driver satisfied, and they want to see everybody happy there. And I think that's important to them. And you can tell that the driver here is an asset, and that's very, very important. So,
yeah, we do whatever we can. I mean, honestly, it's like, that's one of the reasons we choose to grow slowly as a company than other companies, because if you grow too quickly, you can't keep providing that kind of level of service to people. So that's why you grow slowly but surely and try to figure out how to maintain that sort of level of one-on-one communication with people. And I mean, everybody has crappy days, when you and I were talking, I mean, I understood it right away, especially coming from like a guy that's usually a very positive, upbeat guy. Hearing somebody that's kind of feeling down, it stands out right away.
Right.
That's
I appreciate that too. Trust me.
Yeah. It's nothing.
Everybody has that time every once in a while.
Oh yeah.
I mean, but the whole thing is like you heard me talking a minute ago about everybody trying to help each other out.
Yeah.
And, that's why I try to just keep that positive mentality about stuff like that. I don't want to be out here and just be like, I don't want to be that 20 or 30-year truck driver that just is hateful and just cannot stand each other and all that, and goes around on YouTube and has to start stuff with people and thinks he's better than everybody else because he's drove for 25 years or 30 years. You know what? That's not the attitude to have to get anywhere. You're a miserable person, in my opinion. I think you got people that live in your head rent free, obviously. So
yeah. I mean, it's funny. It's funny because I mean, I see people doing just that. Somebody, on YouTube, and because again, I'm on marketing, right, of the company. So I'm on YouTube, on social media all the time. And, I see all the time that somebody is getting overly involved in the life of someone else, dramatizing it and stuff like that. And the way I see it is doing that. It's a very easy way to make sure that, you don't have to concentrate on improving yourself. And, as long as you concentrate on somebody else and try to, do whatever, it just means you don't have to worry about yourself and you can put your mind somewhere else. It's kind of it's a little bit of an easy way out that some people tend to take. And, you know, it's best that we stay away from that, I think, all around, you know.
This is something, you know, we took a break from YouTube for a while, and not because you know, anybody that does my channel, I've never really got involved with the whole, that side of YouTube, you know, and it brings views and stuff like that, but it's not, if it's not a commendable thing, like what's the point of it? It's just having fun. So, and that's fine. I mean, everybody has a right to, that's why everybody can have their own platform. But, you know, I just want to, like with this could be a good new idea, I think, to try to bring some conversation in and get people talking. And especially when people out there maybe see this and see that a company can actually go out of their way to make sure that their driver feels like the asset of the company and is happy, and he feels like he's getting that full value out of his job. And that's what's most important. It doesn't matter what anybody else says about somebody else's job. It doesn't matter if they want to work at a place that just treats them like crap and pays them $500,000 a year. That's their choice. I choose to work at a place that treats me respectable, looks out for me, wants to check on me and see how things are going, but doesn't like micromanage me. And sometimes I have to make sure I still have a fleet manager, you know, like make sure he's still there. Because they don't, if you just go out, like we get loads that we run 4 and 5 days. We don't have to, you know, they let you be free and do your job though. And that's another really good aspect of that. You know what I mean? So no micromanaging here either. So
yeah, I mean, that's when you hire guys that are pretty experienced or very experienced, you know, it kind of comes with the territory. You know, you can't pretend every single thing. You can't pretend you know every single thing better than like your drivers do, because they've been doing certain things you haven't been doing as much as they have. You know, you gotta delegate some level of decision making, you know, to the people that are doing the actual driving. You can't tell them every single step of the way. It doesn't really, not at least not when you're hiring experienced guys. When you're hiring guys that are straight out of CDL school, you might be able to do that, but not here at least. So yeah. So
Tony, what's your experience been like, Tony? Like, how do you got something to fill in on this, buddy? Mike, he's got to fix his mic, man.
Tony, I think you're muted. You might have to click the unmute button on your phone.
Yeah, make sure you're not muted, man.
There you go. I think you're good.
Is that better?
Yeah.
You're cutting in and out, Eric.
I said, have you not heard? Was I cutting out a little bit? Just a second. Is that what you said? What I was saying, how do you feel like everything that we've discussed just a minute ago, like what's put in your input? How do you feel about the company? What's your experience? Tell me some good stories or something, maybe share with us. You know, I'd like people, I want people to hear this, because I've seen so much BS going on that in the name of this company, knowing that every person that I've ever talked to this company and had any impact with would not say anything. It would be complete opposite from the stuff that I've heard. I've ran into satisfied people. Now there's occasionally the people, you know, somebody that hasn't had the greatest experience, but overall people have a lot of respect for this company, you know, and I want to clear the table as best as I can. So
I'm with you as far as, I don't get into the drama and all the BS. I'll go in there and watch some of it. For example, half of these people that know nothing about our company is in this chat right now, just firing off a bunch of BS.
I know. And what the funny thing is, they're bringing me views and helping me get my channel out there more. So YouTube.
I'm gonna open those comments. Jesus.
It's crazy.
I'm gonna look at them right now.
It's crazy. It's fun. I'm over. That's why I've been smiling, kind of giggling in the background, dude. I've been reading some of them and laughing my butt off, dude. There's some funny ones. Crack me up. I appreciate it. They send an elite bomb over here. You know, how much experience do we need to work at GP? Actually, GP is a year experience, and they want you to have a very clean driving record, and that's one thing that you can say about this company. They don't bring in anybody that has issues. They do like that. That's had a lot of bad backgrounds. They will maybe work with like one little thing. It's just they want the CSA point thing, and I think that they're really, really, really serious about not bringing those points over to their company and things like that. They don't want that. They want to make sure they got good drivers and that, you know, the good, responsible, professional drivers. And
it's funny. It's one hand washes the other, sort of. So we're not the most affordable company when it comes to customers. So we're not the cheapest, right? Like we can charge a little bit more because our drivers are a little bit more experienced. They're more safe than some other companies. So it's kind of like you have to have both. And if you're charging a little bit more from customers, you can pay drivers a little bit more, and that you can hire more experienced drivers. So it's kind of like a whole circle,
Right.
Yeah.
I love, man. This is great. I guess you close that out. But the thing that's funny, man, like it shows you what kind of people we got in this industry. It really goes to show, like the stuff like this. I mean, most of these guys ain't got nothing better to do with their time. They can't carry on a daggone conversation anyway that makes any sense. Especially the dude that's leading this whole thing. I mean, I don't know the guy. He seems very knowledgeable about trucking. But if he could use that in a positive manner instead of doing things like that he's trying to do, and I've seen, then maybe he could do a lot of change in the trucking industry. I mean, he does have the industry, he does have the knowledge and the time. I mean, it all depends on how a person wants to use it, I guess. So, I just try, dude. I just always try to keep a smile on my face and move on, man. I've had too much real experiences in life to let a daggum message mess with me, that somebody that don't even want to show their face or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, I've been on TikTok for a year. It's crazy over there. It ain't no joke over there. Like, people are ruthless. So it's great.
Yeah. Welcome to the internet. Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I've seen a lot of good things over here, and that's all there is to it. So where did you go, Laura?
I just figured out how to read the comment.
Okay, what am I missing? What am I missing?
Oh, dude, like there's some in here. Like they sent over like that Elite Fleet guy. I guess it said Elite Bomb because this guy trucks with it in here, and he brought that mess over here. I don't, I mean, if that's what y'all want to do, fine. I mean, but we're in here just to talk. If you don't want, I mean, obviously, I don't understand if you're just doing it for fun. But it's not really affecting like the way we can talk. I mean, we're still going to talk anyway. So I record this video. I can put it on another platform or send it out to somebody. Somebody will get to see it and see all the nice stuff. So, all right. Yeah. What does that say? Oh my God, Laura, you're bad with technology. Oh, that's funny. Yeah. Hey, you ain't William Cope. You ain't even seen the monkey videos. Obviously, if you go back in our videos, that's just adding on to the story, man. We've done some crazy, goofy videos in the past, just trying to be funny and throw some comedy in, man. Yeah. So I've known some of these people in here. I've known around for a while, like Lady Driver. I've known obviously Kirsty. Are you required to vape at GP? I don't vape, so no, I guess not. I think I might be the only one that vapes at the office. I think our head recruiter John Alvarez is switching from. He's trying to quit smoking cigarettes, so I think he's going into vaping. But no, it's just a coincidence. Yeah, I've been doing this for years before GP Transco. Not a good habit. Not promoting it or anything, but it is what it is. Right. Hey, Logic Neo is new here, dude. Logic Neo is always new everywhere. He's been new here for a long time. He's the newest of the new, always new. Always. Sergeant Ringo. Hey, man, what's going on? Is anybody willing to be maybe a moderator in here to help it out a little bit? Because I don't know. Like, I mean, it doesn't bother me. I think they're hilarious, but, I would like to work it out a little bit. It's not why. I mean, why would, dude, I've never even talked to any of these people. I left a message. I actually did. You know what? I forgot. I left a message on one of his videos a long time ago. And all I said was like, don't let like internet stuff like say that a company's bad or whatever. I said, I work there and I enjoy it. and I don't appreciate you just coming out. You've never worked there before. So how can you go talk about a company if you've never actually worked there and experienced it? Just because of hearsay. Hearsay is not fact. Hearsay is an opinion sometimes. You know what I mean? Like if I work there and I come up to you, that's my opinion, and that stands for that. But if somebody doesn't work there, how are they going to relate?
Yeah, I see that a lot. You know, I see that like, so I've been with the company for almost 3 years. I've been with the company almost 3 years. And like in the past 3 years, we've been kind of growing in how well known we are kind of across the industry. And it's good to be a little bit more well known, but with that comes a certain level of people that are going to just kind of be, for a lack of a better word, haters. So
Right.
It kind of ends up, it's kind of an inevitable thing that we've sort of learned to live with, you know, unfortunately, because you can't expect to be somewhat well known for the good things about you without attracting the haters. So it's like, it comes with it. It's sort of an occupational hazard, so to say, you know, so it's just something we learn to live with, and it is what it is, you know? Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what northbound pachyderm is, but he says Elite's going to put out a pic of GP Transco drive. Let's go ahead and talk about it right here. I mean, if you're going to talk about it in chat, just put out the video. Like you said, somebody in flip-flops writing FTD on the back of a trailer doors. You can block my content, but you can't block his videos. Well, I mean, that's fine. Put it out. Like, what do you think this is? Like, I mean, the cops gonna come. Like, I mean, I just don't understand like what they think that's going to do anything. Like, I don't understand that. Like to them, like they get pleasure out of it. I get that, but it's just you know, whatever. Like, so
Yeah.
It's just,
it is what it is.
you know, when they're down. I've been here. I've been treated great. I don't have any complaints. I'm making good money. I don't have any problems with anybody. No.
It's just that's what their life is, man. And I'm telling you what, if that was my life, it's almost like as bad as you've seen a bunch of guys sitting around a bar all their life just wasting their time talking shit about everybody. Woohoo! You know what? That sounds exciting, guys. Let's go do it. You know what I mean? Like, I want to get out there and live and enjoy my life and be happy about things and share good moments. I'm a badass guitar player. I guarantee you, anybody in this chat right there, I'll probably outdo them at that. I love life like things like that. You know what I'm thinking? Why are you going to come at me over? Because trolls it's just a miserable world. That's actually it sucks that it's a reality right now, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So
It's pretty cool. We got 3 musicians here right now.
Yeah,
That's pretty good.
I know that. That's what I'm saying. Like right here, Sergey has got a good band. I've listened to their music.
Oh, no. You're confusing me with Rob.
Oh yeah, Rob's got the band.
Rob's got the band.
Didn't you play like a?
I do. I play guitar. I play some piano, and Rob are.
That's right.
Yeah. Rob is responsible for a lot of the onboarding. He's in a band, the Darling Sons, if I may give them a shout out. So if you want to look up the Darling Sons, give them a listen.
There's a serious thing I want to address right here.
Yeah.
Big A-Hole's always been nice to me. He's a good dude. He's crazy as hell, and I like the shit he says sometimes. But he says, my question is, who's want to be stuck in a truck for 3 to 4 weeks at a time and come home for 3 days?
Yeah.
Whoever wants to do that. I mean, it's
good question.
That's a good question. Now, let me tell you this. As a truck driver at GP Transco, I think there's situations where they will work with people and try to get them home. Like, especially like if you're in a route going through your place, if you ask for something, it's like, can I run by the house? They don't care if you take the truck home. You can go out a route a little ways to go by your house. So there's many a times you have chances to get home. There have times we at least came by the house. Now we're working on stuff like, my situation, but we come through Knoxville. We've came through several times in just a couple of weeks, like it made it home because we were just running a route. We go out 2 weeks and come home a couple of days as a team. Now that's a different situation. So it's not every driver here that has that particular situation. They have local drivers too, up in the GP area. They got, I know they're trying to, as a company that's expanded a little bit, I'm sure there's other things just besides saying about the normal OTR type situation. So there are a lot of drivers that run that, but that's what they want. They're willing to do that. What's the problem? I don't understand. It's a good question. What is the problem with that? If you want to go do something like that, there are other companies out there. We're not saying that's something like that has to be here. That's just what this company offers. But the amount of pay, the way they treat you, you do get home time, a great insurance package. They're even working on improving that to try to lower the cost on it and things like that. The OTP bonus, which is super easy to get. I don't think we've missed the OTP bonus, but like maybe 2 times since we've been here. You know what I mean? It's not, if you just follow a set of practices every day and do what you're supposed to do as a truck driver, it's easy as pie to get. I promise that. What's up, buddy?
And on that real,
What's that?
I haven't ever had a problem either. I just wanted to chime in on it. The company I came on from, I could be out for 2 weeks or 2 days, or I could be out every week or be home every weekend for my 34. And it just wasn't enough time. For me, I've been a musician all my life touring, so being gone for a lengthy amount of time worked for me. And being home, I would rather be home for that 3 or 4 days quality time versus 34-hour reset where I get home, drive an hour to get home, and then from work after dropping off the truck, do my laundry, get some sleep, go to bed, get up, go do it again. It's just not enough time. The quality time versus quantity works better for me.
Hey, William. Yeah, I do that. I was just looking over here. Hey, Gary B, he said, did he hear a guitar challenge? Yeah. I mean, you can go look at some of my videos on my channel and see some of my playing. I don't know how good you are, but yeah, I'm up for any kind of challenge always. I can definitely learn. Did he say guitar challenge? Or I don't know. He didn't spell right. Maybe that's what he was trying to say. Got to his challenge. And William Culp asked what camel did I get off of? I don't know. What's his mom's phone number? I forgot it.
He also asked my truck.
So 865. I don't know. I guess that's his mom's number. I don't know.
That's a good question, really. It's actually a really good question about who wants to be out, for 3-4 weeks at a time, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. And you can ask that question, I guess, about any kind of hard job. Like who would want to do, like, I don't know, coal mining? Like, it's a hard job, and a lot of people wouldn't want to do it, but some people do, and it's just kind of the way it is. I think the problem comes in more when companies misadvertise like things like home time. So like when you're getting into OTR without realizing you're actually getting into OTR, like you think you'll be home every week, every weekend, or every other week, but really you're out for 4 weeks. Like that's a problem. I think as long as companies advertise correctly, like you'll be out for 3 weeks, that's what it is. And drivers choose to come on board. I think there's nothing wrong with that. I think there's an issue when a company is advertising home every weekend and then you get on board and it's not home every weekend, whatsoever. Like that's the issue. But a lot of people do want to be over the road for various reasons. Some of them are younger, some of them they just like to be on the road. It's interesting.
Yeah. I mean, so,
it's another that, my wife got laid off because of COVID. And with that whole thing going around, the kids were out of school and they went back to school, but for how long? And it wasn't very long. So I wanted to get something that I could totally replace her income with. And I've done that here, so the 3 weeks, kind of a little bit of a trade-off on that part, but I'm making good money and so it's working for us right now. And it's got me, the money's got me in a better position than I've been in a long time. So
yeah, that's the thing. I mean, trucking is like anything else. I mean, if you work pretty hard, you're going to end up doing well. And hard work takes effort and time, and not everybody's willing to do it. Not everybody wants to do it, and I don't blame them because it's a hard job. But we get 30 applications a day of people wanting to drive OTR. There's a lot of people out there that want to do it, and it's how it is right now. And yeah.
Actually, I think, there's a guy coming over here. I'm not sure if that's who that might be I'm talking to.
Right.
There's a guy coming over here February 14th from PTO. Hold on, my favorite RMT video where they saved the guy who overdosed. Yeah, I mean, people, thank you, Kiersey. That video is actually starting to finally grow. It's almost up to 7,000 views now. The one on TikTok got 4.5 million views right now. And
that's insane. That is crazy. That is absolutely crazy.
4.5 million views. My total account view right now is almost 10 million views. I got a million likes on my account right now and 66.3 thousand followers. It just took off like crazy. It was awesome. You know, I'll tell a few people like, introduce them over here, maybe to bring some over. But TikTok's like weird, like they'll shadow ban you and stuff. Especially there's a lot of political stuff going on TikTok. And I try to stay away from that as far as that, because I discuss it outside of TikTok, but you know, and I got my opinions on things. We'll just leave it at that. And that opinion is going to stay off of here because I don't care about it. But
yeah.
Oh, that was a good one. I just stopped at a Chinese restaurant. I think it had remnants of Cheeto the dog. That was actually a good one. I like that one. When people actually go out of their way, make a really good one like that, a joke like that, I appreciate that, man. There's a lot of good comedians in the world. I got to leave that one up. Evening, Neo. Josh Traxler gets paid. Like, man, people just really don't like Josh. I guess when you're a pretty big YouTuber, you bring a lot of hate too. So I don't know why I don't even associate with Josh. I've talked to him 2 times in my entire life, so I don't understand why what the deal is anyway. When it was with Elite, like sending his people over here, that's, you know what I mean, huh?
According to Elite, his wife is a lesbian.
Oh, according to him,
According to Elite. Josh is a lie.
Oh, okay. Because I'm sure he's been there and he knows every little situation and everything, right? That's crazy. Yeah. So, what are you up to next, Tony? Where are you headed next out of there? You just hanging out for tonight?
That's a good question.
That's a good question.
Sunday, and then I'll know in the morning.
So this guy right here says Brian Simmons is coming to PTO. My year is complete on February the 14th. That's good. That's
Sounds
awesome.
good.
I'm not sure. That might be. There's a guy I've been talking to that's actually coming over. I'm not sure if it was him, because he's got a different name on his email. So I don't know. Let's see. Hey, what's going on? You know. But yeah.
Isn't that where you were at?
Oh yeah, that was. Yeah,
weren't you at PTO?
Sure. Yeah. And you know, it was a good place to start and get some experience. There was some issues there and everything, but it wasn't a good enough pay for sure. But the thing was, they did do their best to treat us fairly, and they did. I have to give them credit for that. There was some issues I had with things that I definitely could be changed and stuff, and they could do a lot better with focusing on their drivers and not overwork their dispatchers. Like that was one big thing. Their dispatchers had so many drivers to deal with, you know what I mean? They're trying to, edge off on stuff. I know like my dispatchers only got like 6 drivers. I think that's is that Sergey, is that about the limit or something like that?
We get company drivers get dispatchers with 8 to 10 drivers, give or take. Yeah. So that you can kind of put more emphasis on each one individually as opposed to having like 40. So yeah, that's about right. Yeah,
that's cool, man. Yeah. So I think that kind of stands good for the company, what we feel about that. I mean, yeah, and we're just listening. And listen, this is kind of our plan, and this is something we just kind of came up with this idea. And I was like, look, we really need to have people know this. I want to stand up and get the real truths out there, because I sat back for too long and watched what was going on, and it's just bothering me. And I do want to come out here and I want to speak my mind about this company. And I'm glad it gave us this chance to do this and get it out there. A couple people, of course, we do not represent 2 people here, and you as in marketing do not represent the company as a whole. Over time, I would like to bring in more drivers from the company to share their experiences. So we bring that power forward, and people can see that, and there's no question about it. And they can sit there and say all the things they want to. Like I said, it's just trolls too. I mean, They
Yeah.
don't have a face behind them. There is one person that obviously, he's caused some of the issues, and that's fine. Let him do that. But it's not going to. The thing about this is my YouTube channel. I can use it to put us on here to have a base, and that's all it has to be. I can control everything in it, and I don't have to worry about it.
That's a great idea. And after the show, we can talk, and I can get you in contact with some of our drivers. If you want to talk to them or interview them or anything like that, that's totally cool. And I'm actually planning on doing some in-house productions because we do some video productions as well at GP Transco. So things more on the lines of like a experienced driver, and an experienced dispatcher, sort of doing a Q&A together about their challenges with the industry and their takes on each side and stuff like that. So I think all of that shed some pretty interesting light on different issues.
Yeah.
So yeah, for sure.
Well, I was also talking about maybe, because we have a Facebook group that's for people that work there. And I was talking about how on StreamYard you can stream through Facebook. And I was talking to him earlier about maybe we can start something through Facebook too, where we can bring in some of the GP drivers to discuss in-house issues. That one probably wouldn't be on YouTube. That would be more focused on doing that on Facebook and Facebook alone. So we have our in-house thing to bring in drivers to discuss issues. What do you think about that, Tony?
I think that'd be a good idea because you can do a group room or whatever within those groups where people can do the thing we're doing now. Quick shout out, Chuck Wild, Beetle Bailey. But I think that'd be a good idea. There's been a lot of issues going on back and forth in there lately, and I don't know what's up with some of the guys. They're just, I guess it's just like YouTube, where some of them are just angry for no reason. I don't
right.
No matter what.
Yeah.
They're just like pissed about something. I don't know.
I'm out for blood.
I mean, that's so for those, most people don't know, like GP Transco drivers, there's a closed Facebook group for all GP Transco drivers to talk to each other. And I'm on there, a couple other people from the company, but most of these drivers talking about issues they're experiencing so they can kind of discuss solutions to different problems, resolve issues. So the whole point of it is, so that there's an open platform for people to talk to each other. So doing stuff like that would be really useful. We actually were going to do that with our CEO, Dominic, because we've addressed drivers via video before. Just kind of having especially when COVID started, there was a lot of uncertainty about what's going on. So we were addressing the entire fleet. I don't know if either one of you guys was with the company at the time, maybe. But we basically sent out a video of a Q&A with our CEO, Dominic, talking about what we're doing as a company during COVID, how we're staying on top of things and stuff like that. But doing it in a live Q&A format, that would be even better probably. So I'm all for it.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. And having this platform to be able to bring in. Now they do have, they have like 3 levels of price on the, they have a professional one, or a business level one. This one is a personal, pro account, or it's not pro, it's pro account, just a basic pro. So that gives you access, I think, to bring 8 to 10 people in, having several different platforms you can stream out on all at once, and all the access to run stuff all at once. And, I'm going to look more into adding some more stuff and see, I don't want to get it like go over with bells and whistles everywhere going off. I just, I want to keep it basic too, because the focus is on what the content is about, what we're talking about. It ain't about how pretty it looks. So, you got to keep the focus in the right place. But I do want it on a, comfortable presentation where everybody can get, a good feel for it. We can keep the thing moderated. So we got people in here that actually want to come in and learn something, or have, share some information, or even come in and actually join in on the actual chat itself, as far as YouTube, or if we're doing it over on the company's platform and doing it over. So I have a lot of good ideas of that stuff, and I think I do have enough knowledge about it. I could definitely help you out with it. I would love to, actually. It would make me it would make me feel good about having the purpose to do some stuff like that. I enjoy it.
That's awesome. And I like to get everybody from the company involved whenever we can, because there's all kinds of different knowledge in different places and different people who work, at GP Transco that I'm not even aware of. So I know, especially guys like, like both of you who do a lot of YouTube, you have the knowledge base that I might not, because I just don't do that kind of stuff so much. So yeah, that's really cool.
It's taken me, like, trust me, there's still so much you can learn. Like, a lot of people use the OBS. Like, I started using, when I first started trying to do a stream, I started with OBS. And OBS is more of a type, you go in and do stuff more technically yourself. It's not, to me, it wasn't as user-friendly, because I think it was just more advanced for somebody that can, do all more stuff. But there's a lot of stuff you can do with the StreamYard now. They have added so much stuff. I can do green screen behind me. I can put myself anywhere I want to be, all those things. It's pretty, there's a lot of stuff you can do with it. So, so we'll look into it and see where we can go from there.
Speaking of that group, and I thought about it on Thursday when I seen you, Sergey. I invited you to ride down to Wabash with me.
If you told me, I may have taken you up on that.
Yeah, that's a fun place to be, let me tell you.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Yeah, it's like, we have, so we're at like 55% dedicated freight right now, something like that. And we want to be at 75% dedicated freight by the end of the year. That's one of our company goals. More stability overall for the drivers, for the company and everything. And yeah, I mean, some of the customers that we have, I mean, they do a lot of business, and, sometimes it's hard for them to keep, organized the way they maybe should be, or how we would want them to be. But, it takes time to get things how it's best for everyone. But, we got to remember, if one of our drivers is at a dedicated customer and maybe they're waiting for half an hour or an hour longer than they want to be, some of those customers are the customers that basically let us flawlessly go through the COVID era as a company without laying off a single person, so I mean, I completely understand, but yeah, go ahead.
Why don't you tell me a little story about that time that y'all flew all kinds of supplies in and showed up with like, what, 10, 20 trucks at the airport?
Oh, yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, that was super awesome, dude.
That was cool, and I was very fortunate to be there firsthand right on the runway filming. Basically, when in the first couple of months of COVID, when things like medical surgical gloves and masks were in like extreme demand and there were shortages, we tried to look for as much work as we can delivering those things, because it's a good time to do it, and we can help the nation in a way that we couldn't help before. And so basically 24 GP Transco trucks lined up at the Chicago Rockford International Airport. And I stood there filming one of the largest aircrafts ever built. It's a Ukrainian aircraft called the Antonov On-124. It looks like the Sears Tower on its side when you're next to it. It's insane. I mean, it's not that big, but it's huge.
It's the one step down from the Antoine, the bigger one, the big.
That's right.
It's like one step down from that. It's
yes,
like
and the one you're referring to, there was only one ever built. The one that I'm talking about, there was like 40 maybe of them. I was there when they flew it in, and the nose goes up like this. It's massive, huge. And it's huge, and all these dudes in like almost hazmat type suits come out and start unloading medical supplies onto 24 GP Transco trucks, and it was like, it was amazing to see. Like, it was such a cool thing to see the company where you work having such direct impact on the regional or local supply of medical supplies. It was amazing to do that,
Yeah.
So,
So that video. Really,
oh yeah. And I'm actually, I appreciate it. I'm not the best cinematographer. Usually I'm not the guy filming. I'm usually, if we're doing any video productions, I'm like editing or directing it, but I was there filming with my shaky hands because it was like cold. But it was really something. It was amazing. Multiple people at the company, including myself, our CEO Dominic, and a couple other people were like, "This is my proudest professional moment in my career ever," and I felt the same way. It was like really, really touching, to be there. So
you were talking about getting up to like 75% dedicated freight. I actually put the word out to Actually, yeah. Well, I asked you about it. Over time, these guys, like he told me, I asked and said, is there anything that we could get? Because we run a dedicated load the last 2 weeks to fill in for a team that normally drives it, and they went on vacation. And we're like, sure, we'll cover it. It's a guaranteed pay for that week. You get a base pay, and for the miles you run as a team, you get a lot of time down and you get paid good. So
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing is you do go into Stamford, Connecticut, but if there's a straight route in, there's a way to get in. It's kind of tight, but it's really easy once you learn to do it the first time. Then you just bam, 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 right in. But with that, I enjoyed that doing, and I told Sergey, I was like, you ever come across one down that's like down on 40, maybe running past our house a lot? That's kind of what we want to go for maybe in the future. And I think that, that if ever something comes up, I definitely think you guys would definitely make sure that we were on it, because we're patient about it. We'll do what we need to do to make money until then. And
well, one of the we just finished our executive presentation, like at the company, basically for every department. So the accounting department, the operations department, safety department, each present their goals for next year and their accomplishments from the last year. So we did that about a month ago. And the operations department, one of their goals is now we have a dedicated team of basically, I guess, load planners that are dedicated to, for lack of a better word, building dedicated routes, which we haven't really had before. We've always had dedicated customers, which means they're contract customers that we have all year round, but we haven't had so many dedicated lanes, meaning, the driver knows exactly what they'll be doing, 4 days out of the week or something like that. So we have a group of guys who are dedicated to doing this. And my hope is by June or July of this year, we're going to have a number of dedicated lanes from existing and from incoming customers to which we can assign drivers who want to do the same thing, every week. But interestingly enough, you would think that most drivers want to do the same thing every week, but a whole lot of drivers we talk to say that they don't want it. They want to do different stuff. They want to see the different, parts of the country. So, but I know you guys are probably interested, so I'll be reaching out to you when we have more dedicated layout planned out for sure.
Right. Yeah. And I understand like it takes time to do that, but the fact that you go out of your way to really make sure that the drivers are doing what they want to do, and you're willing to. Can I tell this story real quick about the fuel issue that I had?
Yeah.
Remember, okay, first of all, we're testing out Kenworths for the company. We're one of the teams that's testing those Kenworths out. They're brand new 2021, when they came out. We've been driving it for a little while now, but they're brand new 2021s. They actually have a little bit longer sleeper on them, so the bed's a little bit wider for a team. It has a table in it. It has the passenger seat that actually does the full swivel, and you have a place for two people to sit. It's a beautiful truck. It handles way better than a Freightliner as far as the bouncing and filling the road and stuff like that. We are absolutely satisfied with it. I can't say, we've had one little issue with it, and that was nothing to do with it was actually the dealership made a mistake on ordering a part, and then it took longer. So that was really the issue. And all it was a little a sensor in the sleeper for the heat control, and that was it. They fixed it. It was taken care of, and everything was all good. But as far as the truck, man, the way the company, when they do the fuel bonus, it's separated out by each type of truck and also their type of idling system. If they don't have either versus they have one or don't have one, and they're separated out that way. Now, the most trucks they have is obviously the Freightliner. It's the most efficient and affordable truck they have in their fleet, and I understand that it gets them the best fuel mileage and everything else. When they run, they only take out of the whole list. They calculate all that fuel, and it's the top 50% that gets that, right? So you got anywhere from like 8.5 miles to a gallon, maybe a little bit higher. I've seen some close to 9, all the way down to about 7.1 to 7.0 by the time it hits 50% of that whole list, right? Well, we have the Kenworth has the exact same idling system as the Freightliner. Same exact thing. It's set up a little different how you activate it, but it's generally the same exact thing. So we were doing everything we could to get fuel. Now, because we were with only 4 Kenworths, we got put in a group of 4. Now, what happens when you split those into 50%, right? You could have 8.2%, and you could have 8.1, and I could have 8.0 and be cut out, right? And then the very bottom of that Freightliner list is like 7.0. You see what I'm talking about? You know, I was doing that. I brought it up and I talked to the fuel guys about it. I said, hey, you know, they're like, you know what? That's actually, you know, you make a lot of sense with that. You're doing, you know, good with trying to get your fuel and everything. We're going to look into it. So, you know, I didn't, you know, pester anybody about it or anything. You know, they're like, we're going to give it to you for last month because you did do good, but we're going to look into it and see what if we can come up with a cutoff. Which, in the long run, after a while, one day I get a call. They're like, hey, we're going to pay you for that. We're also going to let you know we've come up with a thing. We're going to do a cutoff at about 7.6 because it is fair that way. At least if you can make that, you got a goal to go above. And if you make that, we'll give you the fuel bonus. So, you know, they do really, he recognized it was kind of like not fair for me to get fuel bonus if I had such a high fuel, you know, mileage, and they worked with it. And the thing, it's things like that, you know, the company I was at before, you're right. That would have never happened. And I'm not trying to diss that company by any means. It's just, you know, there's a major difference in coming here. It was almost like shell shock. I was the first week here. I was like, I didn't know how to act. I was like scared that I was going to get in trouble for something and everything because I know how they were when I first went to that company. They were hardcore a little bit. You know what I mean? I'm sure you've heard stories and you've been around the block and know stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, and it's just, but the biggest thing in the long run, it's all about the driver, what he is satisfied with. And if he feels like he's in a good place where he's doing good, who cares what anybody in this world says about that? What their opinion is, it's only an opinion. Right, Tony? Are you doing the frozen thing? I saw your eyes move. You can't pull it off that well.
He's not really frozen. I can.
Yeah, we do that a little bit. I do. We'll play around.
Yeah, it's a good point, you know, and it's like it's hard to it's kind of hard to say it in a way that makes sense, but it's not like we listen to drivers just because we're nice guys that want to listen to drivers just so we pay attention to drivers. A lot of the time it makes financial sense and makes operational sense to listen to drivers too. And that's the main, I mean, I would say that's one of, the biggest reasons is because you guys know things that you experience. We're not there all the time. We're not out on the road. So to make a better decision for us as a company, we need to, you know, like, so we use a mobile app. You guys use a mobile app for, you know, accepting, rejecting loads, whatever, you know, it's a GP Transco specific in-house made mobile app where you get your loads. You know, we just get this special load, you accept it, you get all the details on there. So we made that app because we didn't really like anything else that was out in the market. But we're trying to improve it constantly. So what's the best way to add features? It's to ask our drivers, you know, like what it is that they want to see. So I don't know if you guys did the survey, but like we sent out a survey. You did, yeah. Yeah, I sent out a survey like last week saying like, what other features do you want to see added in there? We got some input that we could never have thought about on our own without talking to drivers. So usually you should ask your drivers what they want to do because then it'll lead to better decisions usually. Yeah, Tony, looks like you were raising a hand there.
Yeah.
I don't know if I went long or what, but I wasn't able to get into that survey.
Yeah, so we sent that survey out and I made like a rule in my head that once we get 200 driver submissions of the survey, I'm going to close it out. I'm going to run the analytics. You must have clicked it after we got the 200 drivers and we closed it out. So don't worry about it. It's okay.
The first.
You're the first one. Yeah, click. Yeah.
I tell you what, the company I was at prior to this, I never got a driver survey.
Oh, I mean, it's not, you know, different companies have different business models. There's different ways to become more profitable. There's different ways to become more successful. You know, you can go from the route of, you know, cutting costs as much as you can. You can go from the route of learning a whole lot of different ways. So I don't blame companies for doing things differently. This is just how we found success of doing things, you know. This is one of the reasons I really like to be here. It's because I think a lot of people, and actually I think a lot of drivers forget that trucking companies, all that is just collections of people. It's just a bunch of people making decisions, you know, and at the end of the day, most people are reasonable. So it's I think that's important to remember. You know, it's just people in the office, just like drivers or people out on the road. You know, and everybody says that we're all on the same side, but at the end of the day, it really is the case. Like without one, the other part wouldn't work, you know? So we just kind of have to listen to each other. And that's why surveys make a difference, because we got to figure out a way to listen to 400 something drivers that we have, you know?
Yeah, I use that whole analogy of the whole machine. It takes every single part to be there for the whole machine to run and function normal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Everybody has their job. And I think that this, and the more oil you add, the well-oiled it is, the better it's going to run, you know? So I think everybody does their part, and it's,
and it's true. And the thing is, people hear that, and a lot of time they're like, oh, that's just a cliche, you know? But it's like,
it's the truth.
It's the truth. And the longer I work professionally, you know, I've been in the field I'm in now, which is marketing and marketing management, for 10 years. You know, I've never worked at a company where you can take out a single department and the company would still work fine. That never is the case. You can't just take out a department. You know, all the departments are important. And that's something important to remember for everyone. I think drivers and office staff.
It's like, you know, you play the game Jenga. It's got all the blocks, man. You know, you have to have all that. Like eventually, you're going to get to the point. You take one piece, the whole thing's going to crumble, and it doesn't function. You're right. I mean, that's just like with anything. Like doing your job as a truck driver. If you start leaving out parts of the job like that, you have to do, like your pre-trips and things like that. If you start leaving out pieces, things are going to start going wrong and catching up with you.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's very important. It's very important to get a good routine. I think once you have a good routine with doing things like that, it becomes second nature. You don't even, you don't want to get like complacent. That's not what I'm saying, but you get a good routine with doing things. So you know what you're looking at every day and seeing. So as soon as something's wrong or out of place, you notice it instantly. Like you have that much folk, like you've seen it that many times over and over. You notice something wrong immediately. So I think it's good that as a, even on the truck driving side of GP, everybody focuses on that and does that. And I've seen a lot of good drivers here, man. I mean, a lot of nice people too, like really good people. Like I've met everybody that I've met from GP just likes to sit and have a little, they say hi and all the maintenance department, man. I'm telling you what, you go to this maintenance department, dude, bam, and they get you done.
Yeah, I mean, that's funny, because that's one of the things that like we do that I think might be a little differently or a little different than other carriers, is like when our recruiting person is talking to a driver on the phone, it's not necessarily just a call to bring someone on. It's also an actual interview. You got to interview people the same way, whether they're a truck driver or whether they're, a dispatcher or an executive or something. You got to interview the person and see if they, the way they see the world, the way they see things fits into the way we as a company want to portray ourselves. So the reason you're probably running into a good amount of these kind of positive, easygoing drivers is because when you're selective about it and when you're interviewing people over the phone instead of just trying to bring in anybody with a heartbeat, that makes a difference. Let me ask you guys if I could. So since you guys both, obviously you both drive trucks, I'm curious, what are some of the things either one of you guys or both, had to get used to the most? What are some of the hardest things to get used to when you kind of become a truck driver and start going over the road? What are those things for you guys?
Tony, you can go with that one first.
I'll let you go first. I don't know. Coming from a musician background, I was always on the road, the whole time. So, I mean, as becoming a truck driver, it was just learning the ins and outs, dealing with these things like that. It's just the way you get treated out here at some of these places is just ridiculous. So, I mean, I got thick skin, so it don't bother me that much. But at the same time, I'm like, what the hell is wrong with you people? It's like, I don't know. As far as harder to get a deal with, I don't know. I mean, it kind of came pretty easy. It's got hard aspects, but I can't stick it out backing, depending on where you're at.
So We get like, so when we get complaints from our drivers about the way that they're treated, like shippers and receivers, we call our customers, we talk to the customers. If we know the customer is, we talk to them about how can we change it so that the shipper or the receiver can be a little more, whether it's courteous or whatever, towards the drivers in whatever way. What else do you think companies can do, trucking companies, to improve that?
I do think that works both ways, though, because I've had, for example, we were talking about Wabash a while ago. When I got there the other night, foul attitude. He had a real crappy attitude, and I didn't get snippy with it or anything. I just like, oh, okay, cool, man. Well, when do you think I'll be? Do you think I'll be able to get done tonight? Or what? It eventually turned around because I kind of joked with him. He wasn't the coolest guy in the world, but he chilled out on his attitude. He was frustrated. I get it. That works both ways. So how you treat these shippers as well.
Yeah, that's I'm really glad to hear that, because like, I think we people in general, like when we work for a company that's like not like a small company, like we have 400 plus 435 drivers. We have a lot of customers. Like when I'm doing something and I'm on the clock in some way, I'm representing not just myself, I'm representing the company. It's funny, I was talking to my boss, Dominic, our CEO. He was recently moving houses, like him and his family, they were moving. So over the weekend, he borrowed like a GP Transco Sprinter, which is like a big van, basically, to move some furniture, essentially, because it wasn't being used, and he borrowed it. And I was like, how was it? And he's like, I was super nervous driving that thing because I'm visibly representing the entire company while I'm driving this little thing, moving furniture, from one house to another. And that made me think about all of our drivers, and every single one of you guys is like representing the brand every single day. And it must be a lot of weight on your shoulders, I would think.
When I first started driving, I say the hard, you asked, I had to walk away just a second, but you asked what the toughest thing kind of was at first. For me, getting used to driving through really tight places, it just feels uncomfortable. It doesn't feel natural at first. You are literally like, okay, for example, on the east side, on the west side of Arkansas, Little Rock, Arkansas, when I first started driving about 3 years ago, they were having construction through there that was like just super tied down in one lane with construction walls on both sides. My first run out, that's what I got to go through, man. I'm telling you what, it felt like the seat was stuck to my behind afterwards. I think I took a bite out of the seat. Like it was bad, like it's stuff like that. You have to adjust. It takes a little time. I mean, I'm sure from one person to the next, some people take up to it more naturally than others. Obviously, everybody's different, learns at a different pace. But things like that, you really have to get to. You have to get used to how bad drivers are, like some drivers on the road are, like 4-wheel drivers and everything. You have to get used to the fact that a lot of people just don't like truck drivers, and like they will cut you off, and you have to be prepared for things like that. And I will say this, I think that maybe, I don't know what the percentage is, but I'm sure when people start out, everybody has their little bump and ding on something. I'm sure there's been that one person that's never had a bump or ding, but stuff like that happens. I think what shows you as a professional driver is how you handle that situation as it happens, how you take care of that situation and act and deal with it. So you have a little fender bender or something, or you bump something, or you snag the edge of a car. It's how I think professionalism comes, is how you deal with that. Say, okay, I need to report it. You do all your accident reporting or anything like that, or handling stuff like that. You break down in a situation like that. It's how you deal with your company and say, hey, look, I got stuck in this. I need some help getting out. It's just, I think the professionalism goes everywhere in it. And that's real important, to do that. And as far as being hard, it just takes everything about trucking. When you first start, you have to adapt to, because it's not just a trucking job; it's a lifestyle. And I think the professionals are the one that looked at like it as a lifestyle. It's going to be, you're there for a reason to have a career. It's not just another job that you can switch up in a week if you don't like it. You know what I mean? It takes work to even get behind the seat. It takes quite a bit of work. So,
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's good to hear. I mean, for me, I see it like there's a certain transition. I think it's like that with every job pretty much. It's like the first year maybe or whatever of your work, it's more worrying about like, how do I do well for myself? How do I not get in trouble? How do I look as professional for myself as I can? But then after about a year, then you kind of like, okay, I can do this. And then you start to worry about, well, I'm representing something more than just myself. I'm representing a company. I'm representing people. There's safety involved. There is all these, cars around me. I can imagine, and it's, I think it's like that in a lot of different industries. Cash is king. Drivers need to be supported. It is great to know your company has your back and do all they can for you. Well, thank you, Cash is king. And shout out to Cash is king. I really do love your channel. I watch a whole lot of your videos and I'm on a lot of live streams, even if I don't participate in the chat every single time. But yeah, we do what we can to back our drivers for what they do. But again, it's not always just because we're trying to be nice. It's financially, business-wise, operationally, it makes sense to support your drivers because at the end of the day, they, for lack of a better word, they're driving everything that you're doing. So it's almost inevitable that you got to do that. I'm sorry, guys. I'm going to step away for like 30 seconds. I'll be right back.
Okay, go ahead and do what you got to do. Tony, yeah, would you like to share a little bit about your opinion on that and everything?
I did. One thing that this stood out, he said was, I forgot. Shit.
Yeah.
He was talking about the safety four-wheelers, or maybe that was you. The one thing that I couldn't get used to, it blew my mind. People text and drive and all that, but the amount of that you see once you're in one of these trucks is unreal. It's like, you look over and somebody's driving down the road with one leg, texting with the other, eating a sandwich with the other hand.
Right.
Kid in the back. And you're like,
you're right. That's crazy.
But what I was going to say before was he was talking about, being a lot of stress representing the brand or the company. I don't even think about that. I'm too busy thinking about my next move in traffic, or what's that car going to do, or what's this guy going to do? Is this guy going to run me off the road? Is this guy going to rip across 4 lanes to hit that exit 5 feet in front of me, or what's, so the brand part of it, I'd really don't think about that much until I'm in a city, or backing into it at a customer.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, that's how it is, man. I really did not expect this little issue that started. It was so funny when we first started the video. I was some of the stuff was said had me rolling. I was over there trying not to laugh so hard, dude. Some people got some talent when it comes to being a troll. They really do. I give them credit.
Cash is king. I think he said I'm trying to find it. Jenga Trucking LLC or something. It was pretty funny when he was talking about that.
Oh, when I was talking about
Jenga Trucking.
Yeah, it was funny. I think the real big a-hole, if he comments again, big a-hole, try commenting again, man. The real one. So yeah. I think this stream, I had to adjust my feed a little bit, but the people that came in here to see and hang out with us and learn some things and listen to what we had to say, I think we had a lot of good response from some of the people, especially some of the people I know, like Wildbeard and everything. There's some good people.
Oh, Wildbeard. It was long
for
sure. Yeah. This is awesome. Let's do this again in the future. I'm not saying like we're wrapping up or whatever you guys want, but I'm saying in the future, I'd love to come by again and do these more. I mean, this is fun.
Oh, for sure, man. I had a real good time. I think what I want to do is like keep it an hour and a half, probably be good, because I'm not sure about I'm still looking into how if we start doing this, how the analytics will work on it. Or I think hour to hour and a half is probably a good time. Over time, maybe we can get it more structured with everything, like what we're going to you know, time, like I say, we'll talk about this the first few, you know, so many minutes, but yeah, I'm down with like trying to get something rolling with this and getting, especially for our company circle and like that too.
All right.
But also on
He's
YouTube. And what'd you say?
His knees, take it easy. He's taking off.
Oh, take it easy, Bees Knees Trucking Show. Appreciate it. There was a few people that stopped by here that,
yeah, next time it'd be cool. I mean, you got the viewers can probably tell we were kind of winging this without much scripts or without anything laid out. But you know, if we do this again, if we had any kind of topics or stuff you guys want to discuss,
the whole point of this was just to be an open topic and just to do it and see how it came together. It was just an experiment, really. That's the good thing about this, and the good thing about the platform. You know, I will work on. We'll get some, you know, moderators in. That way, the feed's running good because you know I'm not in here for the little games and stuff. I want to come in here and actually have a decent little talk and learn things. I'm here to learn things. 3 years trucking, you know, there's a lot of things I need to learn, and that I can take tips and advice from people and I might be able to help somebody else tips and advice and stuff. That's what it's all about, is sharing in the community and everybody coming together to be able to learn something and move forward. And better this industry, because there's some things that could be adjusted with this industry. So that's a good point. I mean, I think the mentality of being able to learn is like obviously super important. And I like the idea of, I don't remember who said this, but that, you know, when you're talking to somebody, it's a good idea to assume that they know something you don't, and hope that they feel the same way. I mean, I've been in the industry for honestly only about 3 years, and it seems like a long time, but at the same time, it seems like no time at all. So I'm learning all the time. And so that's one of the benefits of, you know, YouTube and all these different things, that I can, and other people can learn a whole bunch of stuff about an industry, about pretty much anything else. So it's a really good time to be alive in that sense, because you can learn a lot in a pretty quick period of time, right? It's cool. I seen I guess it's Angelica Jane. She seemed like a decent person in here. She said something about being interested in and has looked at GP Transco before earlier on. But learning every day does make life more interesting. You know, doing the same thing over and over and over again is not, like, actually the definition of insanity, because when you're expecting something to be different, you know, if you keep doing the same thing, nothing's going to change. Gonna keep happening that way. Wild Bear Trucking asked me, he said, Monkey, how do I grow on TikTok? I have a viral video. Like, dude, I woke up one day, my phone was completely dead from notifications.
I think in this case you gotta perform CPR, and then you should be that's what you did, right? There was
you gotta do is put your mouth on the guy that's laying on the floor.
And then you blow up. Awesome.
That's all.
So just do that, find the opportunity, and you'll be all good to go.
That's great. That's good. Yeah, man. No, Wildbeard, I'd put a video up on there, and it was from the YouTube video where the guy OD'd in the store, and we had Narcan that we carried to I'd actually got it from when I had a surgery, and I was on pain medicine for like 3 days, but they handed it to me for safety. They're like, you know, here we give it. It's like we give it with people when we give it the pain medication after, just in case something bad would happen. This will reverse the effects. Right. So we kept that. Dude falls out on the floor, and I knew what he was. I mean, because it happened. Like, he had just must walked in from his vehicle doing it or something and looking for something to drink, and he just started getting worse and worse. Dude, by the time we got everything we needed over here, he was laying face down on the floor already. Like, he had nodded out so slow, literally from standing up, and eventually just crumbled to the floor and started turning blue, because all these muscles were collapsed on him. He wasn't going to breathe on his own. So I just had to provide oxygen for him and keep him, make sure he still, his heart was still beating. He just couldn't breathe on his own till that medicine started working, and bam. It brings life back to you like that. It's amazing stuff, man.
That's how you get 4 million views.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It was cool, man. I put it up there, and dude, one of the reasons I've like really tried to turn like really hardcore more towards positive stuff is the reaction that I got from that video. Really, there were so many people that sent so many messages to me being so nice, like thank you so much, calling us heroes, all this stuff. It was very humbling experience, and it made me have a lot more faith that there are some really good people in this world that really do care about humankind and each other. And that's all it bases on. And we're not judging each other on where we come from or what we look like, any of that stuff. We judge each other on your character and how you act towards each other. And that's all that matters.
Yeah. Let me ask you though, just curious. So I think today, in this day and age on the internet, you can do something objectively amazing. Like, I don't know, save a puppy from being hit by a car. What you did was objectively amazing. Or, you know, save a guy. But even when you do something incredible, there still seem to be a certain group of people that are going to find a way to turn it into some insane negative twist. So I want to.
Have you seen the media for the last 5, 6, 7 years?
What I'm saying is, I'm curious, did you get any weird negative messages? What you did objectively good. How did people twist that in a negative way? I'm sure they did.
Oh man, actually, you know what? I did get one, and I made an actual video response, and it wasn't that long ago, and it was just a crappy here's the response. His message was, "Why didn't you just let the junkie die?" Right. So I made a video for him, man. Well, let's put it this way. It was like, it was more like, look, I'm going to paraphrase that. There was more intelligence to his remark. I ended up actually having a conversation with him and telling him I respect his opinion, but I don't think it's right for you to go and say and wish death on somebody. And he said, well, I wasn't really wishing death, but what he said, it did sound like that. All I had to do was make a video, and I explained how crappy this person could be. And I told him, I said, I'm not dealing with that over here. This is how this is going to be. This is my platform. Starts by, I have the control of that. I'm sorry if you don't like it. You don't have to be here. So I put that out there, and everybody just took care of it for me. Like, that's the support I'm talking about. I was like, wow, like this is amazing. Like, they really looked out for us, man. And I really appreciate that. And dude, there's some good people out there. I'm actually creating I'm still, there's a lot I got to learn about TikTok. I want to start making more, not edited videos, but doing little little skits and stuff like that. You know, I want to be funny. I love that stuff, man. I've made $230 on TikTok in the last. That's crazy as crap. I never thought I'd make money on a platform like. So today it tell me it's available now because you got so many days. I was like, what? I mean, so this whole internet thing, man, there's so much you can do with it. And I think if we take what we got to our advantage, we could really use it to our benefit as far as the company. We could use it for, sharing love and caringness to each other, helping people that might need some help out there, even just not just the information. Like, there's things we can do with the internet. If we see somebody struggling out there, we can really reach out and change their lives if we bring enough people on board. Yeah, it's amazing what you can do with the internet.
It's also made the fact you said that, like, I don't know, you guys both are musicians, right? You probably know the band Dire Straits, the song "Money for Nothing." Like, this song is about money for nothing, sex for free. The guy's singing about how he's doing something that he would have been doing anyway because it's fun, but he's getting paid for it, Like, at the time he was talking about being on MTV, but like, it's amazing that, you guys can do stuff like this and maybe make some money from that as well. And it's like,
it's not like I'm on here wishing I could be a daggone star. I mean, I want to enjoy this and have fun. And if that brings a little bit of extra side pocket money on somehow, where you start selling shirts, like everybody's got the shirt hustle. We know that there is nothing wrong with having a hustle. Nothing. Yeah. That's the American way. That's what it's all about, man.
But it's also amazing people's ability, like what you were saying before, that someone's going to find a negative thing within anything that's positive. It's amazing. Like, we did this charity, it must have been a year and a half ago. There's this nonprofit called From Crayons to Cradles, and it's a company that's basically they take a whole bunch of charity clothing and toys and books for kids, and they distributed to kids in need in the Chicagoland area, in Boston, and in other places. And we did like 6 or 8 loads for them, basically, like across the country. And we did that at no cost, and it was this cool thing. And it was really, it was a kind of a benefit for everybody. We put together a video about it saying, look at this nonprofit, they're really great. And it was a cool thing to do. But even with that, a couple people still found a way to kind of pick it apart into this negative thing. It never ceases to amaze me at how much energy and creativity people put into, trying to find something negative in a thing that's genuinely good. And then I also think, like, if they took that creativity and energy and they put it into something else, how much better things could really be, into themselves even,
That was exactly what I was thinking just now.
Yeah.
If you take that negative energy and put it, like, it could come out in such a much better way than what they're doing. And I completely agree with that.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Tony.
Yes, sir.
Speak up, man. You know what it is? Sometimes we have to wait. Like, there's like a little gap where, like, if I stop talking, I have to wait. You have to wait just a second before you start, because I think it, like, the end of mine cuts off if you start talking too early after I finish. So if you want to add to this, man, please do so. I love to hear it. Tony's a good dude, man. Me and Tony are, like, really became good friends over the last few months. He's a respectable guy.
I'll be honest. Kind of trailed off there for a minute because I was reading the comments, and Wildbeard went and followed us both on TikTok, as well as Beetle Bailey. Did give Beetle Bailey a shout out. He's been handling some of this troll stuff for us.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I appreciate it, guys. I mean, it is what it is.
Keeping trolls.
It looks like this. They make themselves out to look like, you don't have to do nothing, like, other than, I mean, like, you'll say, why are you blocking me? Why? Duh. I mean, don't talk stuff, don't come in here. Come in here to talk. I'm not going to block you if you disagree with something we're talking about. I'm only blocking people that are actually trolls in here just trying to cause a scene,
Mm-hmm.
So,
The topic of trolls is its own interesting non-trucking related conversation. The psychology behind like the nihilistic type of personality that creates somebody who wants to put a dark, color or dark whatever, I don't even know what, but on anything that's good. It's
plant that dark seed in there, try to get it to grow.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, like I said, and the funny thing is, it takes work to do that. So it's like somebody going out of their way to do it, instead of, like, maybe putting some energy into cleaning their, apartment or something. Like, you can put that same energy into something genuinely useful. Instead, you choose single-handedly to take it and put it somewhere where it's not useful at all. It's very weird. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So I think we did good with this for tonight, man. I wanted to practice this to see how it came out, see if there's people interested, and also obviously there are actual people that are interested in it to come check us out sometime. Also, I'm going to involve TikTok eventually, where it can actually feed onto there too. I didn't get that set up tonight, but I will do that. That way we can stream on this platform, and it's going through on there to TikTok, so they can pretty much, we're just doing a shot of the screen, and I'll have my audio coming out where you can hear it.
There's a question from that Angelica you were speaking of.
Yeah.
She asked what made me go from drummer to cooking. The music business is awful, for one. I've been doing it all my life, and it was time to make a change after getting I had a lot of not huge success, but it's all I've done since high school, and it just got to the point where it got old. I made one last ditch effort in Nashville with some guys that had some pretty good stuff going on, and when the person I was with writes a song, they as a tribute to George Jones, and he comes in and sings on it, and then all the labels, it's blowing up on underground radio, but the labels tell you you're too country. It's like, it's George Jones for Crying out loud. How can it be too country?
I know exactly what you're talking about because you see how the country music industry went. It went like over into this blending pop stuff, and it ain't country anymore, really. Country goes back to like Garth Brooks of the 1990s, and Johnny's daddy was taking him fishing when he was 8 years old. That's a good old Tim McGraw. Yeah, see, that's some good stuff back in the day. So I know exactly what he's talking about. The industry changed a lot with that stuff, but I was always the metalhead and the rock and roll and the blues player. Like I love Jimi Hendrix and stuff. That's what reason I started playing lead guitar, you know. So
yeah. Oh, I can't imagine like the guts you have to try to make money from music, because I mean I've played, because I sing, I play guitar, piano, so I would play gigs here and there, and like with those, I remember anything that goes mildly wrong, like you forget a cable, you forget to bring a cable to plug in your guitar, you need to borrow one or something. The people that are hiring you to do it, they're going to be so hard on you. They're going to rip you into pieces. And after that, you're like, I never want to do this ever again. So the fact you did this for that many years, I mean, man, more power to you. That's amazing.
I have a friend that they did a gig in Nashville, and he calls me up one day, and I was like, hey man, what's going on? He goes, hey, we're playing over at such and such place. I was like, all right, cool. He goes, can I borrow your bass drum? You forgot his whole kick drum. How do you do?
Yeah. Oh, I know. Yeah, I remember I was playing at a place here. I live in Naperville, which is a suburb here of Chicago, and I was playing at this like kind of a music club, and I come in, I have everything with me, and I realize I don't have a wire to plug in my guitar into the damn PA system. And I'm like, what am I going to do? And then I remember my dad's a podcaster. He has his own podcast. And I'm like, I call my dad. I know he's got a bunch of sound gear. I'm like, he lives in the same town. I'm like, can you bring me a cable right now? I need it in 10 minutes. You know, he comes in, and while he's driving over, the guy from the club is just like yelling at me the whole time. And after that, I was like, I don't understand how musicians put up with this level of stress. Nope. Nope.
I think to ultimately answer that question was I'd done it for so long, burnout, and then especially on the behind the scenes part of how the industry really and let's face it, it's a young man's game, and I'm not a young man anymore.
I was telling you to speak up just a little bit because it kind of cuts in and out.
Nah, sounds okay.
I got you. I was just saying it was seeing the inner workings of how the industry actually works behind the scenes, and being so close to doing something so many times. I just got burnt out, and it was time to move on. It's a young man's game, and I'm not exactly a spring chicken anymore, you know. And all throughout the years, my side hustle has always been go drive for somebody here or there, you know. So it just kind of was a natural progression to move in a truck.
We now have a piano at GP Transco. We have a guitar. We might get a drum kit at some point. So when we all get together, guys.
So listen to this, man. In the last few months, I've got my son an Ibanez guitar, a little Fender amp for practice amp. He's got a brand new orange 50-watt bass amp and a new Ibanez bass that we gave him that was ours. And this dude is learning so fast, it's freaking me out. I learned very quick myself, and everybody thought it was kind of neat because it's just natural, right? He picks this stuff up. He's played Marilyn Manson songs. He played a Ghost song, one of my favorite bands from Sweden that I'm like absolutely awesome to me. Like I love their music. He's over there playing a little riff and stuff that I even figured I had time to even sit down and figure out yet, but let alone he's playing slap bass riffs already with like weird timing changes and stuff. Like how in the heck? I gave him all that stuff and a recording studio it's got 16 physical tracks and then unlimited digital tracks. You can keep multiplying those, and it's got a CD burner on it and everything. It's a Tascam. It's a little older, but you can hook it up to your computer and run it like a studio and everything and record all this stuff. And Yeah, you know, I think it's awesome. I'm like, I want him to have every bit of access. And now his little brother just got a full set of drums, so it's on. He plays piano too. He gets on piano and starts playing. Dun, 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 dun. What's that song called? He plays all the time. It's from one of my favorite movies that came out like '99. It's like a weird, yeah, but it's awesome.
I think I still have my Pearl endorsement. I could probably get you a deal on that drum kit for the headquarters.
Oh yeah, my people will call your people. That's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. Kids are ridiculously good at just sucking in information, especially when they're excited about like something like music. Yeah.
I said something to him the other day, and I told him, and I made him realize now that I've got a little bit of a platform that could help him. Like if he starts getting good and want a band and stuff, I want to use that and help push, like not push him, but I want to help get him the audience, you know, that could help, you know, in a lot of ways. And I was like, look, man, I told him how good he was. I was like, you don't see a lot of people advance that quick, just naturally. I was like, you work at it. And I promise you can make a career out of it if you really want to. And it clicked in his head, man. But he was already, once he picked it up, man, I encouraged him. I was like, man, that's amazing. Like how easily you already knew how to like what you needed to do to play a note on a guitar. It was natural. Like it was the same way to me. I was already coming up with little melodies before I even knew how to play chords. And another guitar player was like that. It's called B.B. King. You know, like he never learned chords at first. He played melodies, and then he learned chords later on.
Yeah.
A lot of good guitar players like learn like that.
Oh yeah. Paul McCartney. I know Paul McCartney. As far as I know, never learned to read music. He just played piano by ear and by chords. So yeah, a lot of people do stuff like that. You know, that's awesome. Fight Club.
Oh yeah, that's a good movie. It came out in '99 for sure.
99 may have been the best year for movies of all time, I would argue.
It's got the dude that plays in 30 Seconds to Mars in it. It came out.
That's
Requiem for a Dream. That's the song that's in that movie. Caleb learned on piano like 2 years ago, and now he's like doing guitar stuff with hang bass. I'm like, what? It's like it's amazing.
Yeah.
It just blows my mind.
Jared Leto, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when it was the hardest drum beat I've ever learned in my life.
What's that?
That 30 Seconds to Mars. We covered one of their tunes, and we used to hate that band. Thought they were kind of iffy or whatever. And that's probably one of the hardest drum beats I've ever learned in my life. I wish I could remember the name of the song. Weird ass groove to it.
Oh yeah, I remember when I started learning Radiohead songs and the things that they do. Yeah, some of those bands go really crazy.
Oh, dude, Radiohead's always been one of my favorite bands. Smashing, huh? Laura was like, me too. She woke up out of dead sleep to go, me too.
You ever seen the movie? There Will Be Blood with Daniel Day-Lewis? That's the soundtrack for that movie, as far as I know, the soundtrack was written by the main guitarist from Radiohead, and you listen to it and you're like, no wonder it's so damn weird and complicated. It's because it's Radiohead that wrote all the music for that song, for that movie. Yeah.
My favorite movie with Daniel Day-Lewis because he did a perfect Abraham Lincoln. Really good Abraham Lincoln.
Oh yeah. Yeah. For me,
probably the best president there ever was.
Yeah. Yeah. There Will Be Blood for me might be the best Daniel Day-Lewis movie.
That movie.
It's something. Yeah. It's about oil mining, but yeah.
Well, guys, we're going to thank everybody in here. I think it's been good. We can close it up now. We're approaching 2 hours, which went really good. I think it went great, actually. We had quite a bit of people in here. Some of those were the trolls coming in, but as far as that, we held a good number of people for quite a while. It stayed around 30. So I'd say about 20 to 25 people that was people in here actually watching us that were here to see it, enjoy what we had to offer. So as far as that goes, that's actually pretty good. So And I think everything we covered and looked at, and we really put a lot of good information out there and let people see that there are satisfied people at this company. Very satisfied. There are very professional people at this company also. And I think that's important for people to know due to this situation I was speaking about earlier. I don't want to let that just be the only thing that's got out there in a big way, because that seems like, unfortunately, because of the situation, that's what's happened. And I would like to do my part. I think it is my responsibility, because of how well GP's treated me, to make sure that people know the truth. So
thank you.
I agree.
And thank you for having me. I mean, this has been awesome, and let's do it again.
Anytime. Yeah. Oh, that's no problem driving with John. We had I didn't see that you guys and girls. I didn't see that you were in here, but I appreciate you coming in. We had a lot of good people in here. Angelica Jane says, "Thanks for hanging out, guys. Good info. Have a great night. Stay safe." I'll pop that up there for a second. Of course, we had everything. Billy Rain's in here. Yeah, you missed like 2-hour live feed, buddy. You can go back and watch it later if you want to. They sent some, Billy, I guess the whole thing with the Elite Fleet sent some trolls in here or something. It ain't no big deal. We're trying to do a good show and speak about our company, and we did go over some really good things. It was a success, in my opinion. And yes, GP Transco. I think GP Transco, are they in a hiring phase right now at all?
Excuse me. Yeah, so we're actually adding 100 year 2022 Freightliner Cascadias this year. 20 of them are going to be just replacing trucks that we're retiring, but 80 of them are for incoming drivers. So we'll be adding 80 company drivers to the company this year. Yeah.
Okay. Sir. So you're looking at, that's what your goal is for the whole year.
That's right. Yes. Okay. Yep. Exactly.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'm always out there, trying to share the information. If I see somebody that, especially if they're at a place they could be doing a lot better, it's always good for somebody to at least know that there's something better out there for them, Yeah. And, it's not always the answer for everybody, but I tell you what, from my experience, it's worth a shot. Always, for sure.
Tony, you were going to say?
Yeah.
Yeah. How many, what do we have, drivers versus owner ops?
So we have 435 total at the moment, drivers. I would say, if I remember correctly, 3/4 are company drivers. The rest are owner operators. But we recently changed the way we're doing owner ops a little bit. We're added a fuel discount and some other stuff. So we're actually growing our owner op division a little more. The funny thing is, GP Transco originally 15 years ago, we started out as an owner op only fleet. So we were only owner operators for a long time. And then, eventually we started switching more to the company driver side, because it gives us a little bit more control over our fleet, lets us provide a better service for our customers. But 3/4 company drivers right now.
That's pretty good shot. What's the team drivers up to now? Do you know? Because I haven't really.
How many? I think we got like 22 teams. I can't remember. My our VP of HR is going to make fun of me tomorrow for not remembering, but I think it's like 20 teams, 22 teams, maybe. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man.
Mm-hmm.
I was. Are you at any privilege to speak up on anything that I heard about any kind of program coming in for?
Lease-to-purchase.
There you go.
Yeah, so we're working on rolling out our first real lease-to-purchase program. We haven't really had one before. Right. It's still in the works, and the only reason it's in the works is because it takes a lot of paperwork and legality, sorting out different stuff. But the idea is it's basically going to be a lease-to-purchase program. If you're a company driver and you can't really afford a truck of your own right now, maybe you just don't have the cash, or your credit is not that good or whatnot. And if you want to make similar money to a company driver, and with us, it's actually good money. I mean, you'll be making, $70,000, $80,000 a year. But if you want to work towards owning a truck while you're doing that, and you cannot afford your own truck, or you cannot get a good loan, it'll be a program that lets you basically get into a brand new truck. And, with a minimal down payment, I think we're going to be around $3,000 down payment for that. And that's about it. And but we're going to be announcing it, I think, within a month or two, once it's all fully finalized. Yeah.
Okay, and of course, obviously, you're not like fully filled in on the details or anything like that at this point. Like final details and things like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be a per mile rate. It's gonna be much higher per mile rate than a company
Is it
driver. But
going to be like a set rate that you're going to be making with that, or you have potential to, like, because like you get a load that brings a lot of money on that load, you can get that percentage of that, or a higher rate on it. Okay.
Yeah, so for the lease purchase is going to be a per mile rate, a fairly high per mile rate. Owner operators are in percentage, of course, but
Right.
but if you're a lease to own driver, it's going to be a per mile rate. Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I just want to, like, when that thing comes around, I'd like to put the questions out there, like, what about this lease purchasing program is going to be different from these lease purchasing programs, where that in those situations, sometimes that along with lease purchasing, they can have a lot of bad reputation with it because of the companies that have really ripped drivers off in that situation. And I just wanted to kind of, maybe when that time comes around, we can discuss that and maybe go through the things that makes it different. And is there like a fail safe? If something happens, is that driver still going to be able to have a job and go back to kind of what he was doing if something doesn't work out that way? Certain questions like that.
Yeah, definitely.
Really want to get into that, because that is a big concern to me. I mean, I'm not necessarily interested in a program like that at all, because as a team driver, I'm comfortable. I make all the money I need, and I enjoy my life, and we're happy with what we do. Like I said, we do have a goal in mind about what we want to eventually do, but that's what you got to work yourself there. You got to work your way there and everything. But I want to really make sure. I almost feel kind of protective about it, because I know everything's good here, and I want to make sure that what's going to be good about this that's not going to end up messing up somebody's credit or put them in a position where they end up with no money, they lose money and end up owing money on something. And then they're not driving or anything, they lose everything, and I don't want to see anybody ever have to end up in this situation.
Yeah, we tend to think through pretty carefully before we release them. So one of the interesting things about GP Transco is actually, the owners of the company came not from the trucking industry originally, which sounds initially like not a good thing, but when you really think about it, the trucking industry is fairly behind in a number of ways with technology compared to other industries like IT and things like that. Compared to, when you look at policies, when you look at technology use, things like that, even transparency. So when you have a few people coming from the outside, from things like our CEO came from aviation, for example, and the founder of the company came, from straight up from finance. They basically come into an industry that's a little bit behind, and they're like, well, why aren't we doing this? Why is nobody doing that? Everybody else is doing it. So they sort of allowed to bring all these things in together, right? So when it comes to a program like a lease-to-purchase program, it will be a similar thing, basically taking everything that we like about other companies and what they're doing, taking the things we don't like out of them, and basically throwing things in from other industries that we don't see utilized very often in trucking. So basically, we should expect something pretty interesting.
Well, here's the thing I look at. There's a lot of companies that offer the lease purchase. What I would think that would go good with the lease purchase, this is in my eyes and my vision, with something like that, there ought to be like some kind of umbrella program under the whole thing that protects that driver from really screwing up, because doing the lease to purchase is like a learning experience for maybe being an owner operator down the road, right? So I would think that if you really want your driver to succeed in this, you would offer some kind of financing classes and things that go along in training up into how to handle the money for that program before you actually get in that truck.
Yes, sir. That's right.
You have to prove that you're going to be able to handle that situation in some kind of way and offer that. That way you have that protection. And what kind of protection is there if something happens, like an accident or something like that, and it messes up that kind of situation? What are the things that are going to do that help protect that driver? Because they were only out there doing the job, and maybe somebody else hit them, but it still put their truck out of commission. And then you know what I mean? What are you going to do with those things? I think those questions and stuff will be good when the time comes, right? And I just want to know, like, I think a lot of things like that should be answered, and maybe prepare those, answer.
One of those things, actually, while you bring it up, so like it's pretty cool, the things that you have as a mid-sized trucking company that you can offer somebody with a lease-to-purchase program, a driver who wants to maybe eventually be an owner op. Something even like help with maintenance fund management. So we've had Freightliner Cascadias for, let's say 10 years, right? So we have the data for years and years to show exactly when certain types of breakdowns happen, when parts need to be replaced exactly. So that means that when we're bringing somebody on as a leasing owner operator, essentially a leasing driver, we can tell them exactly, here's how much money you need to have put aside for maintenance by this exact, period of the lifespan of your truck, because we can tell you with pretty good certainty that this is going to go wrong at this mileage, this is going to go wrong in this mileage. So we can help manage those finances. We can help, put money aside for the lease drivers so that they have exactly how much money they need at a certain interval of time. Information that wouldn't normally be available to somebody who is, let's say, just an owner operator who bought their first truck without a whole lot of knowledge on, when things go wrong, being able to provide that historical data, backing their, decision making, all those kinds of things. But yeah, next time once that whole thing is rolled out, we can sit down and talk about all that. That sounds great.
Yeah, I think that coming up, like I say, just coming up with some kind of classing like this is wild buried, financing it, how to file the taxes, do everything involved with that. Maybe like a week-long little course going into it, or maybe a 2 long week. Maybe it don't have to be at the terminal or something like that, but it could be like a testing phase. You know what I mean? Learning this stuff. Maybe coming into the headquarters, going over some things, like sitting down in the classroom, like I know Robert does classes and stuff with recruiting. Maybe, have somebody come in the classroom and they got and trust me stuff. Their facility, outside the facility, you got a half basketball court right in front of their dining facility. Like it's nice. Yeah, it really is. So
yeah.
But man, I think we really went good with this. This thing was a success. That's how I feel about it. It really was. I think we really hit on something with this, and I think that we can really go somewhere. Tony, how do you feel about the whole what the lease purchase, like we were talking? Would you kind of agree with that whole like bringing in or doing kind of a class that you have to learn the finances and everything and everything you got to do to run that truck?
Yeah, I definitely think they ought to be a class because they're definitely a learning curve. Like Wildbeard said here, how to file taxes, how to set aside for, because you're going to be 1099 at that point. You need to set about a certain amount aside for taxes, for maintenance, for, just everything. And maybe the maintenance account, for example, maybe set goals for them where, hey, by 3 months in, you need to have this much in your account, maintenance account. Maybe not force them, but just say, hey, kind of friendly reminder. Hey, I'm telling you to get this.
Well, I mean, that could what I'm saying, but you could actually have like things part of a program that say you have to meet these goals. You have to be showing us that you're headed towards these goals, like with the maintenance account. Because you don't show us, we're going to have to really look into if we want to leave you in this program. We just don't want you to mess up your credit or your chances of, ever owning a truck. The whole goal and the whole purpose is to really, really learn what you're doing with your finances, because I tell you what, I have a lot to learn when it comes to that. And that's what I would want out of it if I was going to get into something like that.
Losing their house because they're trying to be an owner op,
You're right.
Oh, yeah.
And one thing I said, like, I've seen some, I know owner ops, there's a lot that make a lot of good money, but there's also some that put a lot of work in things to make about the same money I do as a truck driver or as a company driver. And I don't have to do all those things. You know what I mean? So it just depends on what you want. But with your own truck, eventually there is potential to make a hell of a living, and you can choose what you want to do. You know what I mean? So, I think that would be a good idea to really focus on, really, really focus on getting some training in. What's that, Tony?
Check that comment right after the one you popped up there.
Well, I'm scared now. What is it?
No, it's just pre-recorded videos on the tablet. Good idea. Is that
Oh
one?
yeah, all that kind of training. I mean, it's stuff that we can do at the office, and it really help drivers as much as we can. I mean, yeah, we're constantly bringing in new information. We do case studies now all the time, like our safety team. And pretty much every time we have, any kind of even a minor kind of accident on the road that's preventable, we take that footage and we create a case study out of it, and we send them out. And you guys probably both have seen those case studies. We try to do that as much as we can. And yeah, we try to get more ideas about it. So yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like yeah, I understand. I think that's the best thing for anybody. That way they can go over everything that they did, and it's just to prevent anything in the future that might happen. You have to learn what you did wrong and where anybody went wrong, and how you might have, even though like you might say do anything wrong. How to maybe not next time end up with yourself in a situation like that. How to do? It's just about preventing, because if it's an unpreventable, you want to focus on preventing it, and accidents happen. And I think the whole fact that you take the time to bring people in to go over stuff like that, if there is an incident, that's the needs, as they say, because that shows that you care about your company. And another thing I forgot to bring up that we should have really covered, maybe we can cover that next time, because I really got to get off here, guys. We're pushing it hard tonight, boys. We're going for a marathon. Now, the streamline of how this company streamlined with everything, like the tablet, I like that. I mean, I really enjoy the fact that my day, like recording my time and things like that, is just smooth. It's way better than having a Qualcomm in a truck where you're getting messages through that Qualcomm system. We use Viber app. It's way better than that. And I can sit there, or if I say, hey, I need to just talk to you on the phone, I can tell my dispatcher to call me that way.
Yeah.
You figure out how you want to communicate. Everything is just so smooth. Like, I really like it, man.
Thank you.
If something happens, like, man, everybody in this company, like I had, like everybody, like Robert to Dahlia to Carolina, and everybody, like if they ever have an issue, they'll just say, hey, how you doing? Everybody's so polite. You have a sense of just feeling in a good place for the whole company. I've always had that. I've never had anybody call me if I needed to do something and I was out of place on something. I never felt like I was in trouble about it or anything. They called me and said, hey, can you please take care of this for us? We just got to get this. They had explain why. I'm like, you don't have to explain it. You just tell, it's fine, Driver John says the problem with most companies, the lease option, is just that money-making scheme. And that's what we were talking about, dude, is that in a program like, if you have a program that they actually put you in a class and teach you about making the money, they're actually showing you, focused on helping you succeed. They want you to succeed. I think that's what I want to see, a program like that where you get that out of it. If not, I don't think it's worth it. I really don't.
The cool thing about that is actually, that's a great comment, because so one of the things we did when we were internally building the program that's going to be announced, in a month or two, whatever, is that we need the lease driver to be as profitable for the company as a company driver, not more, not less, the same. So that means we're not prioritizing in a certain way. We're not intentionally bringing on more lease to own drivers because it's more profitable. It's the same profitability for the company. Therefore, we can treat the driver in exactly the same kind of professional and helpful manner that a company driver, as long as it's equal. And that's important, because in a lot of companies, the way it's set up, as far as I understand, is that type of driver, a lease-to-purchase driver, is much more profitable than a company driver. And as a result, the driver ends up being the one that suffers. If the driver suffers, the customer ends up suffering, because your driver is not super motivated, is not super happy to be there. So if your drivers are, give or take, equally profitable for the company, it means you can treat everybody the same exact positive, professional, efficient way. And then we shouldn't be running into too many issues as a result. So that's a good point.
Right. Yeah, sure.
I think for When you say the lease driver be profitable for the company from the freight, not from the lease purchase, right?
Well, that's right. I mean, you take it all into account together and you look at, in general, per week, how profitable is a driver running the same freight as any other driver? And it should be, in our case, let's say with the company drivers and lease-to-purchase drivers, just about equal. When you have all the overhead taken into account, all the expenses taken into account, the portion of the truck that the driver pays for, if there is anything partial that the company pays for, at the end of the day, if it's about the same as a company driver, it tends to bring a better result in terms of how happy the driver is, and ultimately how happy your customer is. Yeah, that's right.
Well, that's cool, man. Like that,
Yep.
I think I have faith in the company to really put the effort for it. Y'all really should probably really focus on the whole class thing and the training.
Mm-hmm.
That would be something to really incorporate. And
Mm-hmm.
I believe that because of my experience before with GP, now that I've spoke to you about that and brought up that idea, I'm sure that's something that I would get spoke about. I know how you guys are, and you really take ideas from other people to heart. At least give it a shot and run it by somebody. That's
what we do. That's exactly what we do. We take 400 ideas from different places and pick the ones we think are good, and we put it together into a nice ball of trucking. And that's what that's GP Transco for you. So yeah.
Sure is.
Yeah.
Well, guys, I would love to go even longer. Tony, do you have anything to close out on that or anything?
You missed a comment by Billy Raines that was very important up to the you're gonna have to scroll back a little ways, and I'm not sure why you didn't post that one.
What are you talking about?
You're gonna have to scroll back just a little bit. He commented that he didn't know anything about Elite. Next comment says something about Roll Tide.
Yeah, kiss my butt, dude. I know what you're doing. You can kiss my ass. He's over here trying to roll Tide on me, and I'm a Tennessee fan, and we ain't done good in I don't know how many years now, and I'm just Lane. The dude just left, and we've had problems since Lane Kiffin was there, and that was like 2010, dude. Remember when we kicked him out?
All right for us.
All right. But yeah, we're going to shut this down, man. This was really this turned out really great. Billy Raines, thanks for stopping in, by the way. I haven't seen you in a while, man. Thank Angelica Jane for coming by. We got Driving with John, Trucker Beetle Bailey, Wild Bear Trucking, TJ Jones, Bull of the Woods. He's been around for a while. Trucker 21, Big A-Hole Trucker for sure. He's always been supportive of me, and me and the old lady, and everybody else do appreciate that. So I think that kind of covered. Oh, let me thank that guy, drummer to driver. I know he's got some issues, but he'll be all right. He does like Alabama, and that kind of says it all. Anyway. We give each other so much shit, Sergey. It's funny. We on the phone all the time. Like, good me and him right here are good buddies. We really do talk on the phone a lot. And that he looked out for me, man. Same as y'all did. And that's another thing too, man. If the road can be stressful, man, it can really have effect on your mental health. And I think that's something also that a company could have a department, like in human resources department, and something that really focuses on keeping a driver in a good state of mind, mental health awareness and mental health in itself being on the road. Because tell you what, it affects every driver. I promise you that. Yeah,
I can't disagree with that. So
it's always maybe something to look into. Also, to maybe a little. Not a department, but a little program. Just to
we have certain programs in place, and we can talk about those later if you want. But that's the thing. We're always adding, we're always learning, we're always expanding. The things we're doing. So as we grow, we're gonna add a whole bunch more benefits. We didn't always have a 401k with a match, and eventually we did. All these other things. We're gonna keep adding as we go.
And that's what my point I was getting at. Everybody, like, that's what y'all have always done since the experience that I've had since I've been there. And I'm pretty much sure you can say the same thing, can't you, Tony? So yeah. Well, everybody, I guess y'all hang out. Don't cut off of here when I end this. We can have a quick discussion real quick about shutting it down and when we're going to do it again and everything. But as far as everybody else, we appreciate you coming by. Thanks for coming in the chat. And it's great, man. It's the people that came in and support us. So we're definitely going to do this again sometime. And we'll see what we can get into then. But I want to thank everybody and their support. Let me take this down real quick. So see how to do this. So I did my branding. Peace out. Happy trip.